So today we're going to show you how to use the quote system for the mortgage interruption cover product through Partners Life. So when you signed up for your agency, you would have been sent an email with your username and password and a link to the quote software as well. So we're into the quote software on the internet here. Username is entered and we'll just type in the password. And that'll take us into the quote system. So you can see down the left-hand side here, I've got a lot of saved quotes. So I've just done these for demonstration purposes. In this instance, though, we want to create a new illustration. So we'll head up here and click on Create New Illustration. That'll take us into a new quote. So up the top here, you can see a few things here. Essential Plan, that's the name of the product, that just stays the same. All these other bits and pieces stay the same, and the field that you probably want to make changes to is the payment field. So we normally stick to monthly. You can change that however you like. So you've got annual, fortnightly, half yearly, and the list goes through there. Another way we like to sell the product is on a weekly basis, and I'll show you shortly what that does. It's just a nice little breakdown for the client to say, hey, look, for the cost of a couple of coffees and a couple of muffins each week, you can have your debt protected. So we'll jump in and start a quote. So with Life One, we'll just enter the personal details here. So for this demonstration, we'll just use Mr. John Smith. Okay, now you can just input his age. If you don't know his date of birth, you can just put the age in just to get the premium calculations for your client. So we'll just put an age of 38 in there for John. When you go back and you actually submit the application to Partners Life, you will need to have the correct date of birth in there. So if you do have that up front, chuck it in, obviously saves double handling. But if you don't and you just want to look at a quote for the client, just chuck an age in there. The only other thing we need to know is whether they're a smoker or not. Obviously their gender and occupation. So the occupation class doesn't have any bearing on the premium rates, but we do need to put something in just for the system to calculate. So we'll just put, in this case, a skilled manual worker. Now to enter the mortgage details, you just click on this little box, MIC principal. And that will bring up the MIC principal sum insured amount. So that's for the total mortgage that you're insuring. So we'll use an example, say 500,000 here. And then the repayment amount. So we use the monthly amount of, say, $2,500. Okay. And then we hit the calculate button up the top here, nice and easy. And that will give us a breakdown of the premium for each part of the cover and also the total. Now, we've done this on a weekly basis. As I mentioned before, we've changed the payment to weekly. And so that just is a nice, easy amount there, $20 a week to cover your mortgage debt to get protected. If you want to change that back to monthly, I'll show you the effect of that. Okay, and that will just bring up a figure of nearly $87 a month for that client. Okay, so like I mentioned before, it's nice and easy sometimes to sell that on the weekly basis, especially when a client's sort of just taken out a mortgage and their mortgage payments coming up. This doesn't seem so much of an extra burden on them. Okay. Now, if we want to add another life, so if we've got a Mrs. Smith in the picture here, just click the Add Life button on the top left, and that will bring up another box for the second life. And again, you just go through and enter those details as we did before. So we'll just say Mrs. Jane Smith. And let's say she's 37. Okay, non-smoker, female. And we just need to pick an occupation, obviously. We'll put clerical. Okay. And the mortgage amounts for Jane as well. So we're going to insure the full mortgage. And then the monthly repayment there, $2,500 to match John. Hit the calculate button, and that will now give you, it'll give you a breakdown for the second life, Jane, down here, what her premium is, and it'll also give you the combined for the couple up the top there. So remember, this is on a weekly basis. You can change that to monthly or fortnightly. From here, we want to save the quote. Okay, that will save it into our system in case we need to come back to it later. When we submit the application. And then from there, you can view the PDF and print that or email that to the client. So That's just populating now. Okay, and then we hit the view button there, and that will bring up a nice PDF of the quote for the client. So as you can see here, we've got the client's details, their names, their ages, smoker status. We've also got that premium broken down per person and also the combined weekly premium there. Okay, and this is just a benefit summary on the second page, just saying the amounts of cover that we're looking at there and what the premiums are pertaining to each. Okay, and then we come down to the third page, which is just sort of your standard terms and conditions with any insurance product. And then the final page is a lovely little certificate of insurance. Okay, so this is quite a handy tool if they need to provide something to the bank to say that they do have debt protection, mortgage debt protection in place, life cover, that sort of thing. They can take that along to their bank as evidence of that, especially if it's required for drawdown or settlement. Okay, from here, we can't email the PDF straight from the system. So what you need to do is either download that, or like I always do, is print to PDF, nice and easy. So we'll just save that as a PDF. And I like to also just put in the client's name. So Jane and John Smith. And also the date. So we'll put 19th here. And that just helps if you're doing numerous quotes for a client, you can see which one is which. Okay, and then we can close out of there. We'll hit the return to illustration button, and that will take us back into the quote that we were just in. So from there, you can make a few tweaks if you like. You can change that to monthly. You can print out the monthly quote to present to the client if you so wish. And then what we can do from there is just save the quote again. And then close out of the system. So this will bring you back to your home page. So this will show you your recent quotes that you've done, so you can jump straight back in if you need to. It also has a neat little search function. If you do happen to have quite a few quotes here, you can just search, for instance, Smith, John, and that'll bring up, I'll probably have a few John Smiths in here, that'll bring up all the clients associated, the date that you did the quote, and you'll be able to jump back in from there. So if you need any further help with the Partners Life product or any training on the system, you can give me a call. My details are just on the screen. So I'm Karina Red and I'm the Business Development Manager with NZFSG. My email and phone numbers are there. I'd be only too happy to help you with any queries.